Just a reminder before today's programme, you have the whole week's worth of shows to check out on the channel. The latest instalment of the Ident Review Extra, where we looked at Steam. The latest instalment of the Now Review, where we continued the Now Dance journey by taking a look at the two releases from 1995. We have the latest episode of the Ident Review, where we took a look at the 2016 set, For Really, and the return of A Brief History, where we came back with a remake of a video from 2016, taking a look at a rough history of British television, specifically the 5 main TV channels. And now, here on AMTV, it's that time of the week again, your questions answered in the Sunday Catch-Up. The following programme is rated PG. AMTV recommends parental guidance. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martyn here, and welcome back to another episode of the Sunday Catch-Up, episode 74, and yes, you'll probably notice things are a little different. I'm stood up for the first time in about 50 episodes. We have a brand new camera filming, a brand new light in the room. All things are good. This is the new setup, but you know, the show's still the same. I'm here to answer your questions and talk a bit about what's going on the channel. So, any housekeeping rules? Well, first of all, I had a bonus video this week just talking about the new mid-roll ad scheme. I highly recommend you check that out, especially if you're a creator as well and you want to know what this will mean for you. But aside from that, it's been pretty normal. By this point, you would have seen the new Brief History remake I did. I really hope you enjoyed that. I'm actually recording this on the Thursday of the week. I've got a few plans this weekend, so I won't be able to film. So that's why I'm doing it early. I hope you managed to get all your questions in. So if you've asked a question and you asked after Thursday, I'll either hopefully have responded to it in the comments, because it ain't going to get answered here. But yeah, I think that was really all the housekeeping for the time being. You know, just keep up to date with the community tab, keep up to date with the Discord server as well, the AMTV Discord, which is gaining new members all the time, so please go and join over there. I'll leave a link in the description. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and all that usual jazz. But now, let's get into your questions. So, first of all, we have Blissful690 who says, did you know that some Now Dance albums didn't actually come out in their respective year? I didn't know that. You would assume they would have done, but I guess if they're for planning or it's later on, so that makes sense. DJF Vlog says, Coronation Street or Emmerdale? Well, I don't like watching soaps, so I'd love to say neither. If I had to pick at gunpoint, I don't know, Coronation Street. Favourite movie ever? My favourite ever movie is Terminator 2, Judgment Day. And Netflix or Amazon Prime TV? Oh well, Netflix, absolutely. Netflix has, I think, got more variety, better programming, so yeah, I'll go Netflix. FP YouTube says, do you like Channel 5? Probably not. I don't, well, Channel 5's grown on me. I think their programming has gotten better, but on the whole, I still prefer some of the other terrestrial channels. Favourite BBC 4 ident? I always like the library one. You know, we're in the 4 different squares, but it's someone on a bookcase ladder sliding along. That's probably my favourite. And least favourite BBC 2 90s ident? That's probably the paper cutout one, just because I find that one a little bland. TV Fan 101, I noticed you've given me an ident review request and an after these messages request. I've seen them, I've noted them, I won't necessarily address them here, but don't worry, they have been noted, as will all requests. Remember, if you have an ident review request or a request for any of the shows, I will acknowledge them, but I won't always acknowledge them here on the Sunday Catch-Up, but I've seen them all, I've read them all. Chestnut Bloke says, have you heard that He Wants to Be a Millionaire could be changing its format when it resumes filming in the summer, so replacing Ask the Audience due to lack of an audience? Yes, I have heard about that, and I think to conform with the guidelines in place at the minute, I think that's completely fair enough. There's no way they would want to film a show that is in any way unsafe, so if they replace the Ask the Audience lifeline with something else, whether that's phoning a second friend or adapting another lifeline, you know, I'm cool with that. Please could you do an updated Switch collection video? The funny thing is my Switch collection has actually downsized since I made that one last year. I've sold a few games that I had, I can't remember which ones, but if I made it now it'd just be a shorter video of what's there, and I haven't really gained anything apart from the Spyro Reignited trilogy and a goat simulator. NFL Fan 65, KFC or McDonald's? McDonald's, always McDonald's. Where's the Torchwood ident for the Ident Review Extra? Well, that's not part of this era of idents that we're marathoning at the minute. So if I did an era of idents on that, so what was that? The Window on the World, so like 2007 onwards, then yeah, that's where it would be. And how many subscribers have you got into 11k? If you mean how many am I away at the time of this recording, I'm about 650 subscribers away. Will we hit 11k before the end of July? Who knows, we'll have to wait and see. You've asked way more than 3 questions. Remember guys, 3 questions per week, that's what I'm answering. Scramble59, thank you very much for the flag design. That looks really cool. It's probably on screen now, but thank you very much for the art. If you want to make fan art, you can always join the Discord server, guys. The AMTV Discord, there's a page for fan art there and custom idents as well. But I do like it. I like, as you say, how the blue and gold represent the colours of the computer-originated world that I had, and also, in a way, the colours that I have now. So, it's a cool design, man. Thank you very much for it. Max Jackson says, Italian pizza, American pizza, or Hawaiian pizza? Italian, man. That's where it's from originally. I'm always going to have to go with Italian. Have you been to Switzerland? No, I don't. No, I haven't been to Switzerland. Not yet. And though you're not a fan of Family Guy, did you hear that Mike Henry is stepping down as the voice of Cleveland Brown? I did hear that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mike Henry is white, I believe. I know that's happening a lot. Like I think Hank Azaria or Harry Shearer from The Simpsons, one of the two of them announced they were doing the same for characters they were voicing who were black. And I think, you know, that, I guess with everything happening, that is the right time. Could you argue they shouldn't have been voicing black characters in the first place? Probably, but that's history, it's happened. But, you know, if that's the change they're having, I'm welcome for it. KGS says, wait, you're saying Michael Jackson or Joe Wicks, you feel they're rather too masculine? I'm not quite sure what you're asking me, really, to be honest, sorry. 2, do you love Rihanna? Not like love her, but I think some of her albums are some of the best of like the last decade, so, well, it was 2009, but Rated R, 2009 album, Loud from 2010, top albums from Rihanna. And since A Brief History is returning, would you do the evolution of the format of Something Special? Well, I've not heard of Something Special, so I'll have to look into it, but I am hoping to do more Brief Histories. What I will say is you've had the remake. There is when did I announce that? I think I did it on the live stream, but I am planning on doing a 10,000 subscriber special Brief History, which should hopefully be coming out on the 1st of August, so that'll be a few weeks from now. But then I'm trying to hopefully do maybe 1 Brief History every month. I think that's somewhat doable. Gaming XD says, Justin Bieber or Ariana Grande? I've never liked Justin Bieber as a person, but music, it's gotten better, so I'll probably go with Justin Bieber. Coffee or tea? Tea. British people like tea. And are you excited for Now 106? Yeah, man, comes out 24th of July. Rest assured I'll be picking it up, doing a review for you. VHS Artifacts says, what is your favourite game series? I think I answered this in the live, but it's actually the Metroid series from Nintendo. I've always found that series very interesting, like different and very entertaining. And 2, have you ever owned a Sky One TV box? Not a Sky One. I did own a Sky box at one point in my life from like 2007 to 2012, I think, but I can't remember like what box it was. And do you prefer the north or south of England? Well, I'm from the north. I've been raised in the north, and I've lived most of my life in the north. I'm gonna say the north. Marsden and McFadden Boy says, Liam Butcher or Lucy Beale? Who are they? Are they EastEnders characters? Gail Platt or David Platt? Don't know who they are. And Noddy or Fifi Forget Me Not? Well, I know who Noddy is, so I'm going to go Noddy. But yeah, don't quiz me on soap characters, guys, because I don't know who anyone is. Nostalgia Hallway says, what do you think of the actors Jim Carrey and Mike Myers? I think, you know, they're pretty good. I think they both had their prime, though, in like the 90s, early 2000s. Obviously, they've both taken hiatuses, sort of the late 2000s, early 2010s. But, you know, they're slowly coming back. I've seen Mike Myers do a few serious things, which he's pretty good in. Obviously, we had Jim Carrey in the Sonic movie, which was like a return to that more comedic form, and I thought he did Sonic pretty well. That movie's not bad, I'll defend that. The Sonic movie is pretty decent. Thoughts on the 2017 It film adaptation? I've got to be honest, I haven't seen it, and to that effect, I haven't seen the original film adaptation from the 90s either. Jeff Davies says, did you ever have any Thomas the Tank Engine VHS tapes when you were a kid? I probably had all of them at some point. I had loads. I had some that were like episodes from various seasons. I had like a Halloween theme one, I think, or like a scary one. I had a Christmas theme one. I obviously had the Magic Railroad on VHS too. Best film ever. Best film ever. You can't tell me otherwise. Do you like Galaxy Caramels? Yes. And did you ever know that Boy George sounds like Eartha Kitt when he's on Helium? Oh, I didn't know. I haven't seen Boy George on Helium, to be honest. Don't know the guy. Doctor Who fan says, favourite Harry Potter movie? Goblet of Fire. Which do you prefer, Doctor Who Season 8 or 9 with John Pertwee? Okay, so that's John Pertwee's 2nd and 3rd season. I would probably argue and say Season 8. That's all the stories with the Master, it's that early unit style. It's still a bit gritty from Season 7. Not that Season 9's bad, but I find Season 8 more interesting. And which do you prefer, Doctor Who season 15, 16 or 17? Right, so that is Tom Baker, that's all Tom Baker. That is Tom Baker's 4th, 5th and 6th seasons. I would have to say, you know what, as funny as it can be, season 17, that was when the show got a little bit more goofy with things in like City of Death, that's a great story though, or Nightmare of Eden, but yeah, probably season 17. Tuxified Art says, how do you feel about Final Wars, cheesy or epic or both? So Godzilla. Yeah, both. It's epic because there's loads of monsters that come back to fight. It's cheesy as all hell with some of the dialogue and the scenes and the action and stuff, but it's really, really cool. The only thing that I think is misleading is on my box art it says every foe returns. That's not strictly true. I mean, I was watching it like, well, where's Mechagodzilla? Where's Megalon? Where's Biollante? Like, where's Space Godzilla? Do you know what I mean? There was just a lot of them missing. And how do you feel about cancel culture? I'm very mixed on. Now, hopefully, I was planning on doing a video on cancel culture. If I made it in time, hopefully you guys would have already seen it because I would have released it on Friday or Saturday, probably Friday though. If it isn't out, well, my overall thoughts, I think it can do some good. I'm saying with you, Tuxified, it can do some good, but I think it often goes a bit too far. If I haven't made the cancel culture video yet, rest assured that will be coming. I'll give you my thoughts on that. And 3, what do you think about many white people and Asians portraying black characters stepping down from their roles, even though race doesn't inherently have a specific voice? I hear what you're saying. I guess from the standpoint of those actors who are stepping down, if they no longer feel comfortable anymore with doing it and they feel they have to step away, that's fair enough. The reason why, like whether it's outside pressure, but I know for me, if I was an actor, I know definitely now if I went into a role where they were saying, right, you're going to do a voice of a black or Asian character, I know I wouldn't necessarily be comfortable doing that. I don't think I'd ever feel comfortable doing that just because that's not me, that's not my race. I can't bring myself to that because I've not experienced it. If there's an actor who does feel comfortable, then that's on them to decide. But yeah, in terms of that, for those actors, if they're stepping down because they no longer feel comfortable, I completely understand. Calvin Jack says, stupidest question you was ever asked on the Sunday catch-up. I don't know, probably like, what day is it today? And most boring movie ever. The most boring movie ever. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to think if there's ever a movie I've switched off. I don't think I've ever switched off a movie, but most boring movie ever. I mean, Keith Lemon, the movie, I know I'd dog on it, but that movie's terrible, man. And now 37 versus now 44. I'm going to go 44 because that came out in 1999 and that had a lot of banging tracks that were taking us into the new millennium. So yeah, now 44 for me. Evan Rees says, have you heard about X-Duck X? No, I haven't actually. And have I heard of Disney.co.uk? Yeah, I've heard about the website. I've not really visited it much though. Chick Knight, sorry, I can't pronounce your name. And have you seen the BBC 4 Idents when it goes, the Japanese have a special for? I might have, yes, I think I've seen those before. Yes, no, I think I covered it in my episode of the Ident review. And have you seen a series called Moon Boy? No. Any good? And have you been to any country in South America? I actually haven't. South America's probably one of the continents I've explored the least, but I'd really like to check out some places though. Media Lover says, did you ever own Laserdiscs? I own 2 Laserdiscs. I've never owned a Laserdisc player, so it's kind of null and void, but I had a sealed copy of Titanic, and I had a copy of Braveheart on Laserdiscs. I don't know why I bought them, because they'd be neither use nor ornament, but you know, I did. Have you seen the Teen Titans animated series? I used to watch the original one from like 2003, but I didn't watch Teen Titans Go, because quite frankly I think that's not made for people my age or like my demographic. It's made for the younger kids. And can you remember what the last thing you did before lockdown begun was? Yeah, I was rehearsing for the No Horizon musical I was going to be a part of. We were in our tech week. We were actually 2 days away from opening night, and then sadly we were told to stop because of, you know, the pandemic was getting worse. And it was the right thing to do, I stand by that, but that was the last thing I was doing, rehearsing that show. Isaac Stairs Films says, what is your favourite Doctor Who DVD that you have? My favourite? Well, that could just be determined as to what's my favourite story. I mean, like, classic series-wise, it's definitely something like Remembrance of the Daleks or Tomb of the Cybermen. Although I did used to love the second disc of Genesis of the Daleks because that had the Dalek Tapes documentary on it, which was like a 55-minute documentary, sort of like a rough history of the Daleks. And annoyingly, it's not on the Blu-ray set. I don't know why, or if they're going to include it in another set. But yeah, for some reason it's not on there. I hope it gets re-included. TMP Rewritten says, hi, how are you doing? I'm doing alright, mate. How are you doing? En Vogue or Spice Girls? Spice Girls, man. That's like the 90s kids gospel. Cooking It Nan says, how are you? I'm doing alright, mate. 2, howdy partner. Howdy partner. And 3, did you know I used to work at McDonald's in 2016-17? No, but I wonder why you left. Was it not for you? Were you not liking it? Oh no, we've got another nostalgia hallway. I don't know if this is the imposter or not. I'm going to answer this only because I don't know who's the imposter. Favourite Welsh channel? I don't know any Welsh channels, I'm afraid. Favourite Australian TV programme? Yes, H2O. That had Australian people in it. Evan Reed, this is technically your third question. What do you think about Invader Zim, Cow and Chicken, and I Am Weasel? I've never seen Invader Zim, although I've heard it's brilliant. Cow and Chicken, loved it, and I Am Weasel, even better. Mateo Ballara says GMTV or Daybreak. I've never really watched either, but if I had to pick, I remember seeing GMTV more, so I'm going to go with that. BBC Breakfast or Early Start? BBC Breakfast, every day. Loose Women or This Morning? If I had to pick, This Morning. Milky Shake, should you think that BBC One and Nick Jr. should refresh their logo in early 2021? Well, I don't know what the Nick Jr. logo is, but BBC One definitely should. And do you like orange juice? Yes. Alfie Mulcahy, thank you for the pronunciation, says top 3 Doctor Who actors. I could never do a top 3, but I know my favourite actor because he's my favourite Doctor. It's Peter Capaldi. I think he's the best actor we've ever had in the role. I think he's a phenomenal actor in general. Just the best person we've had. Chat says, which 2010s Disney Pixar is your favourite? 2010s, probably Inside Out. That thing had a lot of heart to it, a lot of emotion. It was very powerful, and yeah, it's just a brilliant film if you haven't seen it. EMP, Everything Mario Pro says, do you have any Nintendo devices? Yes, so I have an NES, I have a Super NES, I have a Nintendo 64, I have a Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo Wii, and a Nintendo Switch. So annoyingly I'm missing a GameCube, which is like everyone's favourite console at the minute, and I don't have a Wii U. Because why would I want a Wii U? Check out my video on Wii U ports on Switch to find out why. Dr. Floyd03 Productions says, have you seen 4 Weddings and a Funeral? No, but everyone tells me it's brilliant. Have you seen any Charlie Chaplin movies? I've seen The Kid, which is probably one of his most iconic films. I think that was like 1921. I do actually have a whole Charlie Chaplin box set. I've just not managed to work my way through it yet, so I'll get there. And what have you been watching recently during lockdown? Well, primarily now I've done 2 movie series marathons. I did a marathon of the Carry On films, so there's 30 films made between 1958 and 1978. But yeah, that was 30 films, so I did one a day. And then I've recently finished my Godzilla marathon of the original Toho produced ones, so from 1954 to 2004 there's 28 films, so mainly those. Tall Autism 2006 says, do you watch YouTube poops? I used to when I was a lot younger, don't necessarily now. I think I've grown out of most of them. When will you do more overthinking? It's hard to say because again the copyright issue is a killer, so not anytime soon I'm afraid, but hopefully like soonish. And what's your favourite BBC One circles, Ida? I've always got a soft spot for the hippos, and I also have a soft spot for, I think it's called Neon, you know, when the signs come alive and they're walking through town. Time Lord Master 108 says, have you ever considered doing a series looking at controversial British TV moments? Yeah, I've actually thought about doing something like that, but again, anytime I use something from TV, the copyright issues just, they come flooding in. The bots are getting good. And regarding on what you said on Video Scaries, would it really hurt to just do episodes focusing on scary video idents or non-public information adverts? Surely that couldn't hurt. Yeah, I understand that, mate. I have looked at doing more on like scary idents and stuff. I mean, it might just be me. A lot of them I don't necessarily find scary, and my thing is with Video Scaries, I want to try and find things that could potentially scare me, because if I can't see the horror in it, then I can't expect all of you guys to. Some of you might, like some of you might do, but yeah, if there's more idents that scare me, then maybe I'll do an episode on that. And what's your favourite Dalek story, Cyberman story, and Master story? Favourite Dalek story? Classic series probably Remembrance of the Daleks. New series probably Dalek. Cyberman story classic is Tomb of the Cybermen. Modern is Rise of Cybermen: The Age of Steel. And Master story classic, oh that's tough actually. Probably The Deadly Assassin. And then modern, it's got to be that well actually no, it's probably Dark Water Death in Heaven with Missy. Matthew Payton, did you clap for the NHS? Yes I did. And have you seen the movie Zoolander from Christopher Kenyon? I don't know what the second part of your question means, but no, I've not seen the movie Zoolander. Larchin Film says, do you like Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel? Yes, it's a great song. Best BBC 1 and 2 idents? I could count on both hands how many times I've answered this, but well, my favourite BBC 1 ident is either the Computer Originated World or the Virtual Globe. Favourite BBC 2 ident is probably Paint from the 90s set. Junior Animate says, do you reply to comments? Sometimes I do, not all the time. If I replied to every comment, that's all I'd ever do with my life, so, but I reply to some of them. And do you accept ident review requests on the Discord server? Yes, there's a whole page for requests actually, so if you join the AMTV Discord server and find the request page, you can make your request there. And favourite Pierce Brosnan 007 film? Out of his, probably GoldenEye. That was probably his best. They all just sort of went steadily downhill before crashing rock bottom with Die Another Day. Kyle Wright says, have you been to Wakefield and Leeds? Yes, I performed in Wakefield and was due to perform in Leeds before you know what happened. Did you ever watch Tom and Jerry as a kid? Yes, I loved Tom and Jerry. I loved all that classic like Looney Tunes style stuff. I mean, that stuff's timeless. And have you ever been to the Isle of Wight? No, I haven't. Would you recommend? Nathan Simpson says, what is your favourite CITV preschool series of all time? Mine's probably Rainbow, because I caught up on all the episodes of that. And it, you know, that's one of those that's a bit timeless, it's a bit corny, but yeah, I'd say Rainbow. And 2, did you know that Ronnie Lee Drew has a documentary on YouTube that starts like an episode of the programme? I didn't know, but I mean, I'd be curious to watch that, so I'll have to check it out. And have you ever watched Todd World on CBeebies and BBC Two? No, I haven't. I don't really watch preschool stuff, guys, because I'm 24. And I've kind of, even from like, I think the only time I'd watch preschool stuff now is if I was like doing a documentary on it. Red D, Liverpool or Manchester? Is that a question? Liverpool! Although Manchester's pretty cool too. Noodles or rice? Noodles. Always noodles. And Human League or Soft Cell? I would say Human League. Brum Brum, worst advert ever. Oh god, there's so many. Probably some of like the stupid toy stuff I watched as a kid, like that really pandered to kids, like buy the toy, but get your parents to buy it now. Worst Now album art. Oh, like Now 18 and 19. I don't know what they were thinking then. Like oversimplistic to the point of stupidity. And worst food ever. Ooh, coleslaw. What's the point in coleslaw? Okay, Joseph Adams says, do you know I'm still in lockdown till September? Well, I think a lot of us are for the most part, which is a shame. And do you know there's another puppet show by Jerry Anderson called Terrorhawks? Yes, I am aware of that, but I haven't seen it. I need to get that on DVD. And did you know Jerry Anderson did the Power Games spin-off called Journey to the Far Side of the Sun, Phil? I knew he did a film, but I haven't seen that either. Ribbleye says, have you heard of Aunt Fig and Dr. Applecheek? No, what on earth are they? Do you have a utility room? I do. I feel a lot of houses have a utility room, but yes, I do. And did you know that Boris Johnson said a swear word in Parliament one time? Oh, well, I'm sure he said a lot worse. In fact, probably 95% of what comes out of his mouth is worse than a swear word. The Cal John 1 says, have you ever seen the original Now 4 CD from 1984 in person? No, not in person. I've seen it obviously talked about in documentaries and such like, but never seen it in person. And what was the first DVD you ever received? I think it was, if memory serves me right, I think it was a copy of the Rugrats movie, the first one from like 1998. I had Rugrats in Paris already on tape, but I think it was the Rugrats movie I got on DVD. And can you remember how you got your Toy Story VHS tapes from your childhood and how many years did they last? Well, the first one was handed down to me, I think. The second one we just bought from a shop in like 2000 or something. And they last well. The Toy Story 1 tape didn't last long because it was already mangled. The Toy Story 2 tape lasted until about 2007 or 8 when we got rid of most of our tapes. Still don't know why we did that. Favourite food from TV Fan 101? That's spaghetti bolognese. Jacob Faria says, compact cassette or 8-track? Compact cassette every time. And have you ever been to Manchester? I've been to Manchester loads of times. That's like, Liverpool's like my second city for a home. I'd have to pick Manchester as a third. And what is your favourite 2008 BBC Albert Ident? I actually like the one that's a darker one. I can't remember what I called it, but like, you know, the nighttime one, because it's more eerie and, yeah, that one, basically. Zachary Gatt says, do you like cat or dog? Right, okay, if you're deciding between the two, I'd go with a dog. If you mean the show Cat Dog, great show. Who's your favourite Thunderbird? I always love, well, it changes as you get older. When I was younger, I really liked Thunderbird 5, like that whole idea of a space station. I mean, now I like Thunderbird 1 for its like sleek design. And do you think YouTube's new way is good or bad? If you mean about the new mid-roll advertisements, I think for creators they're good because it allows us to help, you know, increase our revenue streams and help support ourselves, like particularly for smaller creators such as myself. I think, yes, some people will take the mick with it. They'll include ads like every minute, which is a shame, but I'm not going to do that. And those are all your questions. Thank you very much for asking. As usual, if you have any more things you want to ask me, leave them in the comments down below, and I will endeavour to answer them in next week's Sunday Catch-Up. And one thing I wanted to address with you guys is obviously this week I did a live stream, the first AMTV live stream. I hope some of you checked it out. I hope those of you who took part really enjoyed it. I am planning on doing more. But being as that was a Q&A based thing, I am wondering would you guys prefer in the future to see the Sunday Catch-Up like this as a live stream on a Sunday, or do you want this to stay in its pre-recorded format? I'll probably do a poll topic, but as well as your questions, please leave your opinion in the comments as well. Do you want to see the Sunday Catch-Up live from now on, or do you want to keep it in this pre-recorded format? But that's all for this instalment really. In terms of the week coming up, you've got your 3 episodes of the Ident Review Extra, you've got a Now Review, an Ident Review, and on Saturday, you've got a video of a brand new series. And I'll reveal what that's called here. It's called Toxic Channels. And the first channel, well, we're going to be looking at the other AMTV. So I hope you look forward to that and enjoy that. But please keep supporting the channel, it really means a lot and it's helping. Let's keep growing, let's keep doing what we're doing. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. And if you're not already subscribed but you enjoy my content, please consider hitting subscribe as well with notifications on. That really helps the channel out as well, helps us grow, helps us get out there to more viewers. But thank you very much for watching, and until the next one, I will see you guys next time. Well, that does bring us to a close this evening on AMTV. We do hope you enjoyed the programme, and please do keep your eyes open for brand new content that will be coming to you soon. Until then, have a very good week, and we hope that you join us again soon. Good night.